If I wished that I would have lived this life and I just have joyful and pleasant moment, no regret, no sorrow, no fear, nothing of that. The reality is not like that. The reality is that every human being at some point is facing all of this. But I used to think I would never arrive or be at the place where I am right now without all the things that happened in the past. Because at some point, the sorrow or even the regrets, they have been so painful in a way that I was left only with two choices. Number one, you learn from what went wrong. And number two is a very hard part. It's the part of learning to let go by forgiving. Forgiving two areas. In case somebody is involved, you forgive the one that is involved. But foremost, you forgive this one. We always think about how should we forgive like other people, which is already very hard, but it's even harder to sometimes forgive yourself. But you can't move into the future. You cannot move on if you still carry old baggage inside of you. And this is where I feel like it must be learned. Maybe people take it as normal to live a life and keep regret and keep frustration and keep all these things inside of them and not heal it, not let it out, not express it, not learn a way to get rid of it. Yeah, but at the same time, I also believe this is the reason why people suffer from so many different types of diseases at the same time. Because there is some type of, I call it now in my terminology, there is energy locked inside of you that wants to be expressed, but you suppress it. And this is why it has to find a way to make itself heard, which can be a sickness, which can be cancer, which can be all type of mental diseases that nowadays I think this society has a lot of it. That is the letting go part. Progress, meaning setting goals, achieving something, doing something. The quickest way to not waste lifetime is when you really set up a schedule and just do the work. Free from how you feel. Because also feeling sometimes, you wake up one day, you feel this way, you wake up the next day, you feel another way. And it's just not helpful to base your structure or your goal on how you feel. Discipline, meaning you stick to what you put there on paper. You take your time, you make the plan, and unless you really are sick or have some type of higher excuse, you just do what you have committed to. And this struggling of, there are still so many distractions every day coming up. No, but you stick to the plan. You stick to your plan. This is what I feel like is a part of discipline, to do what you have committed yourself to. It's the one area. And at the same time, discipline also meaning you don't do the things you already know are not good for you. Discipline is not just about the active part of doing something. It also relates to the passive part of leaving the things out of your life where you already know it's not going to help you. Both of these areas is, let's say, discipline. Focus for me is the ability to mobilize your energy. Energy maybe doesn't tell anything to the people. Your intention, your mind, your awareness. Let's say I need to do some type of work. I need to write an email. Simple. The quickest way, most accurate way to write this email is if you are completely with your awareness, you are focused in writing this email right now. You don't look at the mobile phone at the same time. You don't listen to music. You don't watch another television show on the screen. You don't eat something at the same time. Your focus is on that one task. Because your focus is on that one task, this is why everything that you are made out of can flow into whatever you are creating there. You don't do like the bench press and do something for the legs at the same time. It doesn't make sense. To mobilize energy means to know exactly where am I focusing my attention, and therefore where attention goes, there the energy flows. This is what focus means for me. If you want to create something, it's better to know where does your attention go. It's not that you are like walking this path and then you are like becoming superhuman or anything like this. It is very, very simple. You just become less compulsive and less reactive to whatever is going on in this world. Because this is where I felt like at some point, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be driven by what is going on out there in the world. I don't want to be driven by what is happening out there where I feel like I have no influence on. It can be the decision of the governments. It can be the decision of whatever is being propagated in this world, which is ultimately affecting me. And I just didn't feel like I want to be dependent on external circumstances, because this just doesn't feel like my life is in my hands. How can it be that people around me, circumstances around me, that I literally have really no influence? How can it be that all of this is influencing my life to such an extent that it makes me suffer, that it is frustrating me, that I feel depressed about it, that I feel angry about it, that I feel sad about it? At some point, I just felt like it's very unstable. And so I started to ask myself, how come that I cannot manage myself in a better way? And this is where now all this so-called inner work starts to take place, where the self-mastery takes place. You are not trying to solve the issues of your government. You are not trying to solve the problems of your neighbor. The first thing you try to solve is everything that is able to trigger you to not be at ease with how this life is. What is the ultimate outcome of starting to invest some time in yourself? I would say you are getting more at ease regardless of what is happening on the outside. It doesn't mean you are becoming more ignorant to it. That is also a misconception. It is just the fact that the world around you, everything is like still in turmoil and everything is still burning. But because you are at ease, because you have become more stable, at least in this burning surrounding, you can now still be the guide to help the people out of the house. Because if you lose your temper and if you are getting stressed when the house is burning, who's going to guide the way? And this is how I felt my life was also slowly developing, in the sense that if I really feel like I would like to contribute something to this world, to this society, then it can only be done if I'm already at ease and with peace inside of myself, that then I can carry out in the world. Mostly, I just try to encourage people, do something with your body. Just do something with your body. Whether it's Qigong, whether it's some stretching exercises, whether it's Kung Fu, whether it's Tai Chi. So it was something physical in the first place. But the whole idea was not only to make the people move. This was just like the beginning. But what we need is awareness. What we need is awareness. If you're already not aware of this body, it becomes even more difficult to be aware of what goes on in your mind, what type of traumas do you carry inside of you. If you're not even aware of your own body, something physical, something that you have every day in front of the mirror, how can you become aware of something that is so deeply rooted inside of you that you just can't even see it so easily? So the whole idea of emphasizing physicality, I would say, is the first step to begin the path of becoming aware. With this awareness now, the journey hasn't ended. The journey has just begun. Because it's this awareness now that we need to use and actually start now looking inside ourselves. Yeah. But exactly in the areas that for many years maybe were hidden there, consciously hidden, or sometimes unconsciously hidden, areas that we ran away from, that we hid it, we somehow started to cover up because in the past they caused us too much pain, too much irritation. But I do think that at the same time that there is no other way to really clean yourself up than really looking at all the stuff that's hidden inside of you. I didn't want to say shit, but sometimes there's a lot of it. Yeah, and how do I know? Because I know, because I had to do it myself. So it is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to, at some point, start to realize what type of stuff, dark stuff, negative stuff have you yourself, me, myself, done in this lifetime. But only after you really see it and you recognize that it was wrong, after you repent, then comes the freedom. I think that there are many ways how you can, let's say, motivate yourself to walk this path. So why would I face the dark side of myself knowing already that it's going to be painful? Why would I do that? So there are many ways. Me, from the area of the martial arts, I just know every time I suffered in the training, afterwards, something really good came out of it. Same is like every time you face a challenge that was really, really difficult for you, but you still pushed it through somehow. You still were patient and persevered and were consistent and still tried. And this type of challenge for me was a way bigger victory than anything that was easily attained. So literally saying nothing sustainable and worthwhile in this lifetime comes from something that's easily attained. It's the same that you find plenty of videos right now, face your shadow, face the dark side, look at your demon. It's all that. I can only say that from the way of how I grew up, and after 38 years right now being on this way, yes, I do think that's the way. When my mind is flooded with so many possibilities, I just have become more conscious in really deciding in what do I really want to invest my lifetime. Is it worth it to attain it that I'm working for right now? And if I still come to the conclusion, yes, even though this lifetime is limited, but to experience whatever it is, yes, it's worth it, I'm going to go for it. Well, then do it. The only thing I try to really prevent people from doing is unconsciously following structures and patterns and cycles in the imagination it's going to give them something that they are longing for, but it won't. Why would I in the first place go into action at all? So why would I go into doing something? Because apparently something is lacking. Why would I set a goal? Because I assume that when I reach the goal, it's going to give me something that in the moment where I'm setting the goal, I don't have. So this is why doing or going into action or achieving something comes into play. Why would I need to achieve something if in this very moment I don't feel like I'm missing anything, that there needs something to be achieved? So this is where on the one side we have this area of doing, achieving, going into action.